Okay, photographers, I am talking to you today. So why am I talking to you? I run a business with my wife for the past 8 years in photography, and I now help photographers help their websites and SEO, help them with their overall marketing. Okay, so that's where I come in. This is what I do. My wife has been started with family photography, and now we've been in wedding photography. So having been in this business, having been married to a photographer for years, having been alongside, I've shot weddings with her. I do video on the side as well for weddings. But here's what I know about photographers is the ones where you've been in business a while and you have that question, you're like, how do I get to the next level? How do I get to the next stage? How do I get to the next area of being a professional in my business? Okay, how do I do that? How do I get to the next professional stage? Now, I know that a lot of you photographers out there know that there's things that you should be doing that you're not doing in order to grow your business. And one of those big things that I'll talk about right now is, let's talk about your online presence for a second, okay? This is going to be something that's extremely important. Most photographers probably have an Instagram profile, they probably have a Facebook page. Okay, you need to have those. You know, maybe you have something going on with Pinterest. I don't know too much about that, and actually that's something I'm going to be diving into. Maybe you have something, you have a website. Okay, this is the one we're going to talk about. This is the very, 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 very important one that you definitely need to spend your time on. Okay, this is your website. You need that. Google Business Profile is another piece. What else is there? You could be on TikTok. You could be on pretty much anything. I don't know if Snapchat's still a thing, but anyway, you could be on all these different things. But you basically need to have an online presence somewhere. Pick something, run with it. Now, what's interesting nowadays is if you have an Instagram profile or you have Facebook. Okay, let's talk about Instagram and Facebook for a second. If you have these, most likely your posts aren't reaching anybody. Okay, this is something that's happening quite a bit. In order to do this, you need to have paid advertising. This is something that, in order to reach people on Facebook and Instagram in a bigger scale, you need to do paid advertising. Now, personally, me and my wife actually don't spend a lot of time in paid advertising. There's been a few different things I think we've ran over the years, but most of our business actually comes through when Instagram and Facebook were, you could grow it organically. That was how we got a lot of our leads and grew our business. Now, it's a different game right now. So what are some ways that we can stand out as a photographer as we're trying to grow our business? Maybe you don't have all that money up front to be like, hey, I'm going to put a bunch of money into ads and grow an online presence. A place where you can spend time and money and resources and put effort into that's going to help you for the long term is your website. Now, why is that important? Number one, you own it, okay? You own your website. You don't own your Instagram profile. Instagram, Facebook, those could be gone tomorrow. Something could happen. You lose those pages, or something happens with the algorithm. They no longer like your content. And I'm not saying don't go in those areas. I'm saying that you should be doing that. But if you have a website, you own it. You can actually build an asset. You can actually build something that generates revenue that you own. Now, something that's very important, I'm not going to go into I think you should do both. I think if somebody can do paid ads and somebody could do having their website with SEO, okay, I'm going to put that on here. We're going to talk about website and SEO. You could have both. Both is good, and I think both are great because with ads, you basically put money in, you have a presence, okay? But the day that you stop putting money in, stop paying for ads, then you have no presence, okay? Like, it literally is just like a tap, okay? You turn it on and you turn it off. And there's lots of pros and cons with that. You can target exactly who you want to reach, and you could do it instantly, right away. You're in front of people. That's great. But as soon as your money stops putting money into it, you disappear. And anybody else who's paying for ads pops up. So immediate, quick results, and targeting somebody specifically, you want to run ads. Now, let's talk about SEO for a second. What is SEO? First of all, it's search engine optimization. I'm not going to go into all the technical parts of it. Basically, in its simplest form is when somebody searches you, somebody searches, for example, let's say you live in Tennessee wedding photographer. I probably spelled that wrong. Maybe it just needs a capital. Is that all that needs? Capital? There we go. Tennessee wedding photographer. If you live in Tennessee, you want your website to show up on Google or YouTube, or maybe it's Bing, whatever place they're searching. I'm going to tell you right now that 90% of searches come through Google still, and the next second biggest search engine is YouTube, and I don't know what the percentage of that, but YouTube owns Google, okay? So these two go together. So these are the two areas that you really want to have an online presence in. But let's talk about Google right now for a second. So if you have SEO, meaning that if your website is built properly, okay, and strategically, there's a way to do this. It doesn't have to be overly complicated, but depending on your competitors, okay, depending on your competitors, you basically need to have an online presence, a website that does two things. It has authority in Google's eyes, okay, meaning that it's not spammy, okay, it helps people. And two, you have a website that is actually good for users, okay? So authority for Google, and then it's also good for users. So when they come to your website, they come to your site, they buy from you. If you're doing those two things, if you're getting visitors that want to stay on your site and visit your site, then Google's going to say, well, this is something that's obviously we should promote this website. People should be on it more. Obviously, it's helping people. And that's where when you search for Tennessee wedding photographer right now, and you look up who's in that top 10 searches, it's going to be a website of probably an established photographer, so probably somebody who's been around for a long time. And that's why their website is ranking, because they put the time and back end into it. Now, what goes into SEO? I'm not going to go into that video today. That's probably going to be one of the next ones. But my whole point is this, is that your website and putting in a focus on SEO is going to help you for the long term, okay? Because if you put all that effort in and your website continues to grow traffic and bring in users, Google's going to keep ranking your website. Your website can keep ranking after putting in the effort into SEO. Okay, so you can continue to have an online presence without having to do the ongoing ads. Okay, now you can do both. Do both if you can. Okay, but I want you to know that your website can be an asset, meaning that your website should, if it's not, then you're not doing it properly, and that's where somebody like me can help with that. But your website should make you money. Your website should showcase your expertise. It should, when somebody visits your website, they should be able to, so when a user comes to visit your site, they should be able to make a decision, okay? They should be able to make a buying decision. I want you to think about that for a second. If somebody comes to your site right now, is there enough information there that they can make a decision and buy something from you? It's not just how good your pictures look. That's great. But do they see how you operate? Do they see how you work behind the scenes? Do they see your pricing? Is there an easy way for them to inquire? Does the site load? Is the site functional? Can they find the things? Can they read it? Is it well laid out? So there's a bunch of different things for your website that can help user experience, okay? That's when they're on your website. But first, someone needs to find your site, okay? So the whole point of this video is just to show you to consider SEO and upgrading your website, okay? We help with that. Doesn't have to be me. I'm just telling you as a photographer, knowing that we've been in it. We neglected it for a long time. When we put the effort into SEO on our websites, our business actually grew, and we started ranking on Google. That's where we got a lot of wedding inquiries this past year, of our weddings booked this year and for next year. So consider upgrading your website and consider SEO. And that is the video for today. Subscribe if you want to see more like this. I plan on just making videos like this, educational type content for photographers based on website SEO, marketing, anything really to do with the business. So stay tuned for more.